I swore that one day I would become strong enough to erase all inequality and injustice from this world. That was my promise, the driving force behind everything I did. The final battle had reached its boiling point. The so-called heroes, battered and exhausted, believed they had finally won. They raised their weapons in triumph, declaring victory over me, the black-winged conqueror Lufa's Mafal. But I wasn't finished, not even close. Even after taking their strongest, most desperate attacks head-on, I still had one last card to play. I unleashed my ultimate skill, a wave of power that shook the very foundations of the world. In a last-ditch effort, panicking, they poured all their remaining energy into a single desperate sealing spell. And at last, the conqueror was sealed away. The battle was over. The game, as everyone believed, was finally complete. Or so we all thought. 200 years passed in the blink of an eye. In the void where I was sealed, I had no regrets about that battle. It was the greatest fight of my life. And then, a voice echoed in the emptiness. Venus, the goddess of all creation, materialized before me. She offered me a new role, a new purpose. At first, I just thought it was some kind of official message from the game's developers. After all, my character, Lufus, had become a boss so powerful she rivaled even the Devil King himself. It made sense they'd have some special event for me. Whatever this new role was, I didn't hesitate. I accepted it. And in that instant, everything changed. I felt a pulling sensation, a light that enveloped my entire being. I was being summoned. But when the light faded, the faces that greeted me weren't filled with hope and relief. They were filled with sheer, unadulterated terror. Confusion rippled through the summoners. They hadn't summoned a hero to save their world. They had broken the seal of the black-winged conqueror. As for me, I was just as confused. Something felt incredibly wrong. My senses were heightened. The air felt different, more real. I looked down at my hands, at my body, and realized I had become Lufus. Not just an avatar, but Lufus herself. No way. This had to be a dream, a very vivid, very strange dream. But the feeling of the cold stone floor beneath my feet, the trembling of the people before me, it was all too real. I wasn't just playing the game anymore. I was physically inside the world of Xgate, 200 years after the era I had once ruled. Taking a deep breath to try and stay calm, I began to question the people who had summoned me. They trembled and stammered, unable to even speak properly. I quickly realized my racial skill, pressure, was still active, radiating an aura of absolute dominance. Once I consciously lowered it, they finally managed to explain their desperate situation. The Devil King, the great evil they had fought for centuries, was still alive and threatening to destroy everything. In their darkest hour, they had used the ancient and forbidden Xgate summoning spell, a ritual meant to call forth a hero from another world. But instead of a savior, they got me, the world's former tyrant. Understanding the situation, I made my decision. I had no desire to conquer this world again. That was just a game, a role I played for fun. The conqueror, Lufus Mafal, was a character from the past. Now, I was just a girl who found herself in an impossible situation, with a burning curiosity to see the world she had once ruled from a new perspective. And so, without another word to the terrified summoners, I turned and left the summoning chamber. I walked out onto a grand balcony, took a deep breath of the crisp night air, and leaped. Instinctively, my massive black wings unfurled, catching the wind. Flying freely through the night sky, a feeling of pure, unadulterated excitement began to rise within me. Because this was my beloved Xgate Online, a sprawling fantasy MMORPG set in the world of Misgars. It was a game built on epic wars between nations, political intrigue, and a unique system where player actions could actually shape the official history of the world. I had poured thousands of hours into it. I had min-maxed every stat, learned every skill, and made Lufus the absolute strongest character possible. I didn't just play the game, I dominated it. I unified the entire world under my banner. I became the black-winged conqueror. And then, Just for the fun of it, for the sheer thrill of a good challenge, I worked with the other top players to create the ultimate in-game event. We split the world into two massive forces, the Conqueror's Army, led by me, and the Alliance of Heroes, comprised of every other powerful player who wanted to take me down. It led to the greatest war in the game's history, a conflict that shook the servers to their core. And in the end, by design, I lost. It was the perfect ending to my character's story arc. But now, 200 years later, I had returned. Not as a player sitting behind a screen, but as the final boss reborn. As a lifelong gamer, what could possibly be more exciting than this? Getting back to my original world could wait. That was a problem for another day. For now, a whole new adventure was laid out before me. The world of Misgars was my playground once more, but this time the stakes were real. My legend was about to begin anew. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter of this incredible story.